Part 4, Water Power. Wow, this is awesome, Campbell said. She was looking around at the fast-running Colorado River. Brownie Elf had brought the girls to the Grand Canyon in Arizona for one more water adventure. They stood in the bright sunlight near the river at the bottom of the enormous canyon. Around them, walls of rock rose toward the sky. The walls seemed as high as skyscrapers, and the rock was so many different colors, stacked like layers of marble cake. Some of the rock was sharp and jagged, some was smooth. Some layers were deep red, others were cream-colored or gray. The girls had never seen such an amazing sight. "Can you imagine how this canyon was made?" Brownie Elf asked. "I know it has to do with water," Jamila said thoughtfully. "But how could water do something so big and so beautiful?" "After a heavy rain, have you seen how water can carve little rivers in the dirt?" Brownie Elf asked. "Or maybe you've built a sandcastle on the beach and the next day the waves have torn it down?" The girls nodded. "That's water power," Brownie Elf said. "When water moves over rock or dirt, it wears it away slowly over time. That's called erosion. The way Earth looks is changing all the time because of water's power." She pointed to the top of the canyon. 5 million years ago, the river flowed up there. It took all that time to cut away the rocks. Now look at the canyon walls. The layers of rock look the same on both sides because they were once connected by the same kind of rock. "Wow, they really do look the same," Campbell said, peering at one wall and then the other. Alejandra was looking down at the river. "What happened to all the rock that was cut away, the stuff that used to fill this space?" she wondered. "The river dropped it in new places to form new land, and then the river ran into the ocean," Brownie Elf explained. "Now, Allie, would you like to see the canyon walls up close?" "Yes," Alejandra said. "Yes, and yes," the other girls echoed. "Over here," Brownie Elf called. "I've turned our bubble into an elevator." The four entered the bright bubble elevator, and the doors closed with a soft whoosh. "Some people take boats or rafts down the river," Brownie Elf said with a smile. "I thought you'd like to travel up the canyon walls. They're so high, an elevator is the best way to travel." "May I push the buttons?" Alejandra asked. "How about this one?" "That's for Redwall," Brownie Elf said. "That's the name of one rock layer." Campbell pointed to another button. "And this one?" "Devonian, purple rock," the elf replied. "Purple is my favorite color," Jamila said. "Let's go there." Alejandra pressed the button. The Devonian layer was narrow and sparkled in the sunlight. Way below the four friends, the silvery belt of the Colorado River twisted through the canyon. "Let's go higher," Jamila said. She picked the button for Hermit Shale. The four climbed through the dark pink and light red rock. They stopped close to the top of the canyon. They were silent as they looked out, down, and around. The canyon was so huge. "Look, there's something moving there," Alejandra called. Among the shrubs, they saw the flash of a bushy tail. "I think it's a squirrel." "Since we're on the canyon's south rim, you saw a white-bellied Albert squirrel," said Brownie Elf. "On the north rim, you'd see a black-bellied kebab squirrel." "Why are there two kinds of squirrels here?" Alejandra asked. "Before there was a canyon, there was only one kind of squirrel," Brownie Elf explained. "When the canyon separated into two sides, the squirrels were separated too. Over the years, they adapted to the different environments on each side and started to look different." Campbell pushed another button. Suddenly, the girls and Brownie Elf gazed down at a gigantic concrete structure rising above the river. "Does this remind you of the beaver dam in the wetlands?" Brownie Elf asked. The three girls laughed and shook their heads. "It might not look the same, but it's a dam. All dams do one thing, hold back water," Brownie Elf said. "When people build dams, they often use the water to make electricity." "How?" Alejandra asked. "When water flows downhill, its energy can be used to turn machines called turbines. When the turbines turn, they make electricity that can be sent to people's homes," the elf said. A falcon flew by so close they could see its pale chest feathers. But when people build a big dam, Brownie Elf continued, this time in a quieter voice, it can be hard for some animals. A dam can make it hard for fish to swim up the river to lay their eggs, or to swim downstream to the ocean. Sometimes, when really big dams are built, wetlands near rivers disappear. That means no more home for the animals that lived there and depended on wetlands for plants for food. We have to find ways to protect the animals and help people. Can we help? Campbell asked. You can, said Brownie Elf. Just try every day to do one thing to save water. When you use less water and less electricity, that helps people and animals. Another way to help is to tell others what you know, Brownie Elf continued. Not just the big things that you learned about water, but smaller things too. Small things and small acts can be very important. A lot of small positive acts can add up to very big positive changes for water. I think I know what you mean, said Campbell. Yesterday I asked my sister to turn off the water when she brushes her teeth. But first, I held a bowl under the faucet while it ran and showed her how much water she was wasting. Does that count? And I asked my father to fix our leaky faucet, Jamila said. I put a bucket under it overnight to show him how much water it was wasting. And I never use a hose anymore to clean the driveway, Alejandra added. I sweep. I saw how much water was just running into the street. Brownie Elf smiled. Yes, those are all small but important things. My job is complete. You really love water and care about saving it and keeping it pure, so there is enough for the world to share. Every day, you will learn more and teach others too. And so the four friends said goodbye. We'll always remember what you taught us, the girl said. We'll pass it on all our lives.